What's going on? I'm flying solo today, and I thought that maybe today I would be able to just take some time and look at some videos that I thought were interesting on TikTok and talk about them in the context of social intelligence and personal development. So I'm going to pull up a few right now. Let's see here. Okay, here's the first one. And I like this guy.
Need more friends in your pictures.
I like this guy. He does reviews of
Okay, guys, I want you to remember.
Tinder bio reviews.
he does he talks about the data behind dating apps and dating you know, online dating basically. And what I like about this guy is, he takes basically a database approach here. So let's watch this video.
That aren't about physical attractiveness. You need more friends in your pictures. Having friends in your pictures is a credible signal of social skills and niceness. Having selfies just exacerbates this and makes me wonder if you don't have any friends to take pictures of you. Your bio does a good job of signaling intelligence and humor. Speaking photos signal.
All right. So first off, he talks about with your Tinder bio or your Tinder. He talks about having with your online dating profile having friends in the photos. And I've thought about this. I've worked with different clients and students and on my own online dating app experiences, tried different things and found that yes, it does having friends in your photos can be helpful for being able to show that you have a little bit of what we call uh, what we call social proof. And social proof is just when you see that other people like another person, right? If I go to the bar and I see a group of people surrounding one person, laughing, smiling, having fun, I'm going to know that other people like this person. So I want to spend some time with them. If I do meet them, I'm going to know that already that people like them. So I don't have to qualify them as much. And with online dating, right, you're starting with nothing. And so showing a little bit of a picture with some friends or interacting with people uh, shows a little bit of social proof. However, here's the kicker. Having that photo with your friends as your first photo is probably not a good idea. I don't think having you and other people in the photo as the first photo on your profile is a good idea, because nobody's like, when you see that, like, it's, I don't know who it is, who's in this profile. And a lot of people are just over it. They just want a instantaneous gratification or instantaneous making the decision of whether or not they want to swipe on you. And a lot of people will not look further into your profile. So first picture, I think you need to have a one selfie or a photo of just you. Okay. Let's look at the rest of what he's saying.
Signal ambition and prestige.
So he's looking at this guy's specific photo or profile and seeing that he's giving a talk. It looks like he's giving a TED talk or something. Shows a little bit, signals ambition, signals prestige. I think that's important to signal that you have ambitions, especially as a man on online dating profiles. Signal it, showing that you have some sort of goals for your future, or you have an activity that you really enjoy. Action oriented profiles are really helpful, showing that you do take action. It's not just you sitting at home all the time.
You're not signaling a very strong aesthetic sense. Shirtless pictures are really hard to pull off, and I know you worked really hard for those abs, but I wouldn't try shirtless unless you have a really strong fashion sense. Some original.
Yeah, the shirtless thing. I don't have abs. I'm never gonna have a shirtless photo. But I think if you can really, really, really pull it off, you're gonna attract a certain type of person from that. Same with women when it comes to bikini photos and stuff like that. If you want to be tasteful, if you want somebody to like you for that, go for it. But it's just going to be the initial attraction, right? We're trying as hard as we can to get that initial interest peaked. So we look at these external status factors on online dating, but we want to make sure that we're also bringing in some external, or I'm sorry, those internal status factors instead of external status factors, like your physical looks. Internal status factors, we want to be like things like our personality, our humor, our sense of humor, our goals, as mentioned with the second photo here.
Research we did found that hiding your age on Tinder increases the number of matches by about 50%. You might see an even stronger effect since you look pretty young. I'm not sure if this is...
Now that's pretty interesting. You know, I used the premium Tinder for a while, and I would hide my age because I would have my range of who I was interested in go way higher and sometimes a bit lower, just to see who I got matches with. And when I hid my age, when I was like 28, I think I was 28, 29, I would hide my age. I would more likely get those likes back, or those matches with people who had, you know, different criteria, right? Like if they don't see it in their face, oh, you're a certain age and I'm looking for this really small certain age group, they're willing to take concessions on what they're looking for. The other thing I would do is, living in a metropolitan city, a lot of the time people are not looking to date somebody who is farther away from you. You know, or farther away from them than maybe a couple miles. And if I lived on one side of the city and I'm looking at people on the other side of the city, or perhaps I was living in Oakland and then looking in San Francisco, or now I'm in New York City and I'm in Brooklyn, and I want to match with somebody from Manhattan, if I don't care about the distance but they do, hiding the distance can really actually help get your way in. And once you're in, you have a much higher likelihood of you know, maintaining something. People are willing to make concessions if you've created some sort of attraction outside of just these logical descriptions. And, you know, going into how we are attracted to people, logic is usually the last thing that goes. And when we're looking at online dating, most of the time people are starting with logic, and that's what prevents you. That is the gatekeeper, the thing that prevents you from really connecting with somebody.
helpful or just saying obvious stuff. Let me know if...
Yeah, so that was really helpful. I actually do like that. Benthamite, yeah, him and his friend or girlfriend, they do all these videos on statistics. They also do like TikTok statistics too. So here's one that I really liked.
Brother.
So this girl is gonna she's gonna help her younger brother try to pick up a girl at the mall, and she gives him a trick on how to do it. And I want to see about the technique and kind of respond to it and see if this is in line with one of the techniques that we do at Jaunty.
A girl. We're at the mall this time. Let's go. So I'm not gonna explain the approach, but you guys are gonna be surprised. Let's fucking go. All right, Frankie, whip out the cash. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Frankie, her.
We got cash.
I don't know what she's looking at.
she likes her outfits. Who cares? Go. All right, you know what to do. Yeah. Drop the 50.
Okay, $50. One, I love the accent. Like, she's like, they're either in like Long Island or New Jersey or something. They're Northeastern people. They're like, come on, get the cash. Let's go. I love that. But $50. Okay, this kid looks like he's no more than like, what, 15, 16 years old. She gave him $50. What's he gonna do with it? You drop your 50. He drops it behind her, taps her on the arm, says, "Did you drop your $50?" And she goes, "No, it's not mine." Hands it back to him. Okay.
It's not mine.
He says it's not his. Okay, so he says it's not his and goes, "You want to go get some food with it?"
Okay.
He says no. She taught him to play hard to get, so he just walks away. I don't know if that's playing hard to get, or if that perceives as like taking the L, as is mentioned here.
Wait, where? Sure. Yo, let's fucking go. Period. So as promised.
Okay. All right. So the trick is take a $50 bill, drop it behind a lady or a girl. I imagine this is meant mostly for like younger people, because like $50, you know, say, I don't know how an adult would respond to that. Somebody who's 30 years old, I don't know. But okay, $50, drops it. She's shopping, drops it, picks it up, goes, hey, did you drop this? And she goes, no, it's not mine. And she hands it over to him as if it was his, like she knew he was just planting that there. I don't know, maybe she didn't. And then he goes, well, it's not mine either. Do you want to use this to go get some food? She's like, I'm okay. All right, fine. Waddle off. Wait, what happened? Right? Within a couple seconds, she rethinks it and goes, actually, you know what? Let's go. And I think that's cute. I think it's a really cute little pickup that he did. But I think it's a little contrived. I think it's like doing a prank to get somebody's attention too, right? It's like in the same vein. Contrived, instead of just going up to that person and saying something. Or maybe even you could use that to make conversation, but it's not real. It's right. You set it up. What happens a year later after you've been dating and they ask how you met, and you're like, oh, well, actually, I dropped this on the ground on purpose. And be like, why? Why'd you do that? Ultimately, he was ballsy enough to go and say, hey, do you want to get food with it? And and kind of soft ask her out. But I think he could have been a little bit more, and that worked, right? Because he stated his intention a little bit. So it ended up working. Cool. I don't necessarily think this is the best way to approach somebody in that situation, but it's cute and it's funny, and obviously it got lots of views on TikTok. So yeah, 379,000 likes. Obviously TikTok does skew a little towards kids though, and
I told you guys I would.
Young people do need help with that. All right.
Hello, Dana.
So Dana Rose Carney. So Dana Carney is a researcher, and she researches nonverbal communication. Love it. I think at Berkeley, UC Berkeley.
Carney, professor at Berkeley, scientist who's been studying nonverbal communication for a really long time. I have a finding which is pretty interesting. So these data, the paper just got accepted for publication. It's embargoed, so I can't link it below, but I will update as soon as it's unembargoed. Anyway, the finding is this. We can detect the size of a person's social network through watching for a very counterintuitive nonverbal cue. So when people have a really strong, powerful, dominant voice, that's actually negatively associated with the size of their social network. So, when you see people out there and they're acting all kind of dominant and their voice is really loud and intense and dominant, they actually have smaller social networks. Interesting, right?
Okay. So this is a study asserting that people who have loud, dominant voices and they meet you and they go, "Hi, my name is Craig," right? They're trying to dominate. They usually will have a smaller social circle, and we can perceive that. Well, I think it's kind of obvious from just kind of a human experience standpoint. I'm not saying from a scientific standpoint, because obviously that would have to be proved, which this study is starting to shape into, right? But I think when I meet somebody who's like domineering, like not just like that they're loud, but you know, those people who like really try to like, when they shake your hand, really try to squeeze down and like break your hand, those people are trying to like control, right? Those people are trying to be aggressive. They're trying to show I'm the alpha male in the situation. And I kind of have a problem with this idea of the alpha male. I mean, uh, there's lack of any sort of evidence that there is such thing as an alpha male, even in wolf packs, which is where we got that idea from. Um, you know, we do like masculine people, we do like leaders, we do like assertive and high status people, but that does not mean alpha or macho, right? That is the type of person who's emotionally secure. We like people who have access to resources and therefore they can be selfless with them. This is where status comes from an evolutionary standpoint. We are attracted to people who have have abundance in their life, and because they have abundance in their life, they're not trying to get anything from another person, right? If I have a lot of friends and people are always coming up to me, I'm not gonna come up to you and try to force the situation, either forcing by being this domineering person, like you're gonna be my friend, or I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do this for me, right? Or trying to change perception of how you, or try to manipulate how you perceive me by being passive, which is what most of us do, right? Most of us are passive, and in that regard, when we're passive, we're trying to manipulate how other people perceive us, trying to be a nice guy versus being a good guy, right? A nice guy is all about perception, right? It's all about doing what I think looks good for other people, being polite, being, sticking up to the standards of society, versus being a good guy is doing the right thing, or a good person, right? Is doing the right thing. And, obviously thinking about the nice guy nomer, right? We look at that name or that word, that phrasing of, oh, he's a nice guy. And we think about nice guys. Nice guys finish last, right? That's what we hear. Nice guys finish last. And I actually have a video on it. You can go check out the video on nice guys. But basically, most of the time when we're passive, we're trying to manipulate and control other people because we need something. We need their validation. We need their acceptance. And so we're going to try to act a certain way to try to get them to feel or act a certain way towards us, versus being an assertive person, which is a good person who just expresses themselves. And if you're emotionally secure, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be abundant. And if I got lots of people always trying to talk to me, and I have plenty of friends and plenty of contacts, you know what I do? I just sit there and act the way I act with anyone else, any of the people I'm close to. I don't try to change my behavior, and I don't try to domineer anything, right? I'm just gonna act cool, and because I act cool, everybody else thinks I'm cool. And those people who are like domineering, those people sacrifice their relationships. Even the passive people have way more relationships than the aggressive people. Aggressive people, people who are domineering, those people look at people as if they are there to serve them, right? Your opinions are more, or as an aggressive person, your opinions are more valid than other people's opinions, and your needs are more valid than theirs. Therefore, they need to serve you, right? That's what an aggressive person is all about. And this vocal thing that she's talking about is it's really interesting, because we can perceive that it's like maybe it's learned, but or maybe it's innate, but we're social creatures. We're evolved around being able to perceive these little cues, and sometimes we unlearn them because we have different experiences, right? And maybe your family is just like that. And maybe you have people in your life who are like that, and they've somehow manipulated you to think that you're supposed to be around those people. Who knows? But yeah, that's really interesting. I love that there's always coming up with new information on social interactions and human behavior. I definitely recommend giving Professor Dana Carney a follow. She's got some great stuff. All right, where else are we going to be?
Hello, Dana Carney.
Yeah, Dana Carney. All right. Okay. So my next video is a comedic video. This is Nikki Dubes. She's great. She's got like millions of followers.
You're from 2000.
So the whole premise of this video is that the girl who thinks negging equals flirting. All right. So this is the POV. She's going to be negging you. And if you don't know what a neg is I think it's something that was coined during around the time of the game and the pickup art, they're the primordial pickup artists. And basically the idea of the neg is this backhanded compliment. So it's saying something like, oh wow, it's really cute, your nose wrinkles when you laugh, right? Or saying, oh, I like your jewelry. Yeah, my grandma wears fake jewelry too. Or something like, yeah, just saying, oh yeah, it sounds like you're really good in business. I heard about a couple failures that you had though. Right? Like you're giving a compliment, but it's kind of backhanded. It's kind of really meant to lower your self-esteem. And the whole point of the neg was entering into a social situation where somebody's status is higher than you, right? Here you are, here they are. It's to knock them down a peg, and so that you can start to build your level the playing field. Now that's a terrible intention, right? I don't recommend negging people, and usually you can spot the neg, or you can spot it when people do neg, that they have insecurities, and so they're trying to bring you down. And negging really only works with people who are insecure, right? People who have lower self-esteem, because otherwise, wouldn't somebody who really is secure themselves, if I was like, neg, bring them down, and then bring myself up and say, all right, I want your number, or let's exchange business cards. At that point, after I brought them down, wouldn't they be like, well, why do you want to spend time with me, right? It doesn't make any sense. So the neg doesn't really work on people who are high status, who are secure in themselves. And it's basically just taking advantage of somebody who has low self-esteem and poking it. Not a cool thing to do. There are definitely better ways to raise your own status and build attraction, and we work on those in our classes. But let me
Just so you could prove you have.
Let's watch this video of Nikki Dubes. Nicole Dubois, I didn't even know that. Yeah, watch this video of her saying these different things.
Money? A white wine? What are you, a real housewife? I'll have an IPA, please. You seem like someone who would play a lot of FIFA. How's that white wine? Has anyone ever told you that you dress like a teenager from 2010? I had a really great time tonight. If great meant stupid. Did you take me here just...
Okay, so she's basically turning this this idea of like second grade flirting, right? When we were in second grade and we were flirting with our crushes, we were usually making fun of them, pulling their pigtails and running, right? Or playing little pranks on each other. And like that's like second grade flirting. It's silly. It's like I had a really great time tonight. If great meant stupid. I don't know. I think it's cute and silly, and obviously she's joking around about it. And the cool thing I like about what she's doing is she's doing a gender flip. Is usually when we talk about negging, we're thinking about these creepy pickup artist guys or these dudes who are trying to be pickup artists who are trying to get a girl. But for her, she thinks maybe this character has experienced enough negging from men or from, you know, her prospective romantic partners that she thinks is actually flirting, and it's warped her reality, so that's how she flirts. Or maybe she's just insecure herself and wants to bring somebody else down, and that's how she feels connected to them, or, you know, that's how she flirts. I've definitely met people like this before, and for me, I mean, I'm not I'm not really into it, but sometimes it can be playful. I've definitely had, you know, if you take it to the in a playful sense, like you're in second grade, and, you know, start joking around with them about, you know, like maybe even do a little role play. Like I like to, like if somebody were to say something like that to me, I'd be like, well, you know, I'm not gonna leave a Valentine card in your paper bag on your desk on Valentine's Day now. You know, I might play along if they're acting like that. But yeah, I think she's great, and kind of noticing it's like this meta awareness of this negativity that's going on with negging, and making it kind of fun.
Just so you could prove you have money.
All right. Two more here. Okay, so this is a motivational video.
Put rats in a pool of water to see during a brutal study done.
Motivational video. He talks about a study by Harvard University. I need to look this up and see if it's actually real, because I don't see any sources referenced. But this dude has 1.3 million followers. Doesn't mean anything, I guess, as opposed when it comes to validation of the study. But I like hearing this.
Done at Harvard University in the 1950s, Dr. Richter put rats in a pool of water to see how long they could actually tread the water. On average, the rats would give up after about 15 minutes of swimming. But right before they sank, the professor would pluck them out of the water, dry them off, and let them rest for about 10 minutes. Then he'd put them back in the water for a second round. How long do you think they lasted this time? Now keep in mind, they're already exhausted. On average, people thought 10, 15 minutes they might last. Try 60 hours. And no, that's not an error. They would last another 60 hours treading water. The conclusion was drawn that after they plucked them out of the water the first time, it gave the rats hope. They were able to push themselves much further than they ever thought they were capable of. I want to leave you with this thought. If a little hope can push rats to swim that long, what can it do for you? Remember what you're capable of, and always keep swimming.
I love the message. Always keep swimming, keep moving, as I used to always say, especially when when I was doing parkour videos. But yeah, so rats put into this vat, 2 rats in a vat of cream. No. Rats put into a vat of water, swim for 15 minutes. Right before they're about to drown, pull them out and give them some hope. Put them back in the water. They swim for 60 hours. I think this goes into the loop, the positive feedback loop of random positive feedback. This is a something that I learned when I was going to school and taking sports psychology class, learning about random positive feedback. So when you want to motivate people to do something, say you're coaching a team, right? You want to motivate people if they have good performance, if they perform long enough, perform to some degree that you like, randomly, not every time that they do, you give them a reward. So maybe they, over the course of a whole season, a water polo team, this is what happened with my coaches. Water polo team has 12 games in a season. No, they probably had more like 20 games in a season. And randomly after winning, maybe they win their first game, lose 2 more games, then win 2 more. After that third win, we got a pizza party, right? We get a pizza party. We're all stoked. Like, you guys did a great job. Have some cake, have some pizza. And then the next couple games, we were stoked. We went out and performed even better. And then we didn't get the rewards. We didn't get rewards after those wins. But something happens. Eventually we get another random reward, right? We get a day off, or we do a the day off for us was like, we did a dry land training day where we got to play football, which was great. But so this random reward system gives you the motivation to keep going. Now, I think that's a little bit of the piece. And then the other piece, another piece that I think about is the motivation, discipline to keep going. And I'm thinking about people who are pushed to their limits. For instance, I remember when I was in 6th or 7th grade, my PE teacher told us a story about a woman who did a marathon or super marathon or some sort of thing, and she had never done marathons before, or triathlon. I think it was some sort of long, arduous event. And she ended up pushing herself to her limits, and ended up, before hitting the finish line, she started like peeing all over herself, and she was like over it. She was like dying, right? But she pushed herself to that limit. And I think a lot of the time of people like David Goggins, who talks about, that point where you think you're about to give up and it's the end, it's all you can handle. It's only about 40% or something like that, right? It's only about 40% of what you're actually capable of. And the mind is a crazy thing, right? We thought we couldn't break the 4-minute mile, right? Then Roger Bannister comes in and runs this weird 4-minute mile, but he breaks 4 minutes. And then 16 people in the next year break it. It's, our perception of what is possible dictates what is possible. And this is why we need to have people who are pioneers, because once we have the pioneers, we can move our goalposts. We can say, this is where our possibilities are. This is where our peak performance is. And maybe having hope and faith is a bit like having that Roger Bannister, but instead of it actually being another person like Roger Bannister, it's having a faith that there is a possibility, right? And hope is what's gotten a lot of people through a lot of things, a lot of arduous situations, a lot of physically and mentally and emotionally demanding situations, but it keeps you going, right? And I don't know how they scientifically can quantify hope, but I think that would be something I'd definitely want to look into. All right, so that was my motivational video. I have one more video to share and talk about.
So another thing I worry about is that I'm in my 30s. I'm almost 34 now. And I know that there are so many girls out there who are younger and better looking and in better shape than I am, and they will be for a long time. And that's something I worry about, that if my personality and my accomplishments don't really count for anything, then I'm man, that window is really running out here. So another thing I worry about is...
Okay, so this woman is 34, and the clock is ticking. She sounds like she wants to have a family, get married, have kids or something, or at least wants to find a partner, sounds like. And she is discouraged that because of her age, that men are not looking at her anymore, that she does not feel like she is seen as an option for a romantic partner. Or maybe it's not even men, I don't know. But But she just seems discouraged that she wouldn't be able to find a partner. And 35 for women tends to be the this wall, right? Because they say you're more likely to have complications with childbirth, or a child with other complications, or maybe like risk of autism, Down syndrome, stuff like that. And I definitely feel like I feel that myself, because I want a family, and I'm 30 years old, but they say men can do it forever, but I don't want to be a 70-year-old dad playing catch with his son. Like, I don't want that. Like, I think about like Donald Trump. He's got like a 14-year-old kid or something, right? Like Barron Trump. You think he's like actually having a nice life, or with his parents, with his son? And I just don't think that's a reasonable lifestyle. On top of that, if you're over 44, for men, there is higher likelihood of having issues with your children. Genetics, your genetics does get affected, and your telomeres elongate or shorten. Which one? I don't remember. Your telomeres change as you age, and that affects your gametes too. That affects your breedability. That affects everything. So I definitely feel that too, and so I see where she's coming from here. Now, one thing I've noticed is in metropolitan areas, there's a few things. I'm assuming, and this, if you looked in the comments section, you could see my comment. In metropolitan areas, women tend to be more educated, and they tend to focus on career a lot longer, right? And because of that, there's an elongation of the period of time in which they're not really focusing on family. And same with men, right? I think also nowadays in the metropolitan cities, there's this Peter Pan syndrome that's going on, where people are trying to be young forever and party and have fun and not really settle down, and focusing on living that lifestyle, keeping up with the Joneses, making the money, whatever it is that their goals are, or lack of goals, right? Maybe they're just living in the moment and then not really thinking about that future. And I didn't see that as much when I was living in small town, rural areas. And I think it is a bit of like lack of spirituality and thinking about future and family and connectedness to the community and your family, and purpose as a human, purpose as a breeding animal, right? I think there is a lack of connection there, especially around living in metropolitan areas. That being said, I don't think she's like, I don't think she's destined to never find love or never find what she wants. I know that, if she, I know that there can be times where you do feel like you're at the end, you're at the bottom. But you can still find somebody, right? And you can still, tomorrow is always another day. That being said, if you feel like you want to have kids, like, I've met plenty of people who have passed that age, right? And they've come to terms with it and found peace, right? I used to date a woman who was in her 40s, and she knew she wasn't going to be having kids. And women who are divorced usually by their 30s, and they go into their 30s having a much more relaxed mindset, thinking, all right, I already did that. And maybe that's what this woman here is thinking about, is like thinking about that relationship, or that expectations of building something, or having a family, having a relationship, getting married. And part of that could be comparison to other social comparison, right? Looking at your friends, seeing all on social media. And I think this really sucks because we're not really connected to the people, right? We just see what we think we see. We see, back in the day before social media, you had a handful of friends, maybe like 20 friends, and you spent a good amount of time with maybe like 5 of them. And then the other ones you would see throughout the year every so often, right? And things would happen, people would get married, people would not, people would get divorced, people would move on, people would do certain things, people move out of your life and back into your life. And it wasn't as apparent, it wasn't as in your face as nowadays with social media. And I think part of that makes us, since we see it, right? I'm seeing all these weddings on Facebook and things on, these wedding dresses on Pinterest, and, people going on vacations on Instagram, and I fear missing out. I got the FOMO. I got this envy. I've got, this feeling that like everybody is living this life that seems so picturesque. And obviously we know logically that social media isn't real. It's not the full picture. It's not, you don't see the bad stuff, right? Somebody who's had a fight with their spouse or their significant other, and they're bickering and they hate it. They're having a terrible life. But then on social media, they're like, I love this person. They're the best, right? And it's like, this person was abusing you last week. What are you talking about? And when we don't have that connection, where we're not that close to that person, we don't see the full picture. And we just see all the positive stuff, because nobody wants to look at the negative stuff, right? It's media, it's social media. We want the good stuff on the media. We don't want the bad stuff, unless it forms some full circle, hero's journey style of like story, right? Unless if you're seeing somebody in the abyss, there better be some sort of motivational thing and win at the end, right? Sometimes it's not like that. And with social media, we don't get to see the whole picture. We don't, things aren't really episodic. It comes and goes, and you don't know when those episodes start and when they end, and you don't know when the chapter in your life or in that person's life starts and ends. And I think this, seeing other people, maybe this woman is seeing other people in social media or talking to other people, and or maybe she's been freaking thrown around by the wrong guy one too many times, and she just feels over it. And that sucks. But I think like there's still hope, right? I know that in the next month I could go out and meet 50 or 60 new people, and out of those 50 or 60 new people, I could probably find somebody I really connect with, right? I could probably find a few people that I really connect with if I'm proactive, and if I work to actually meet those people, and work to actually, if I'm going outside, I keep pointing to my window, going outside or going to events, taking charge of my life and saying, hey, I'm going to go look for somebody, right? Maybe the online dating is not working, but you know what? You can still find people in other places. But maybe you can try a different online dating app, right? There's things that are specific to you, and where you might be able to find people who are more serious or more, who are looking for whatever it is that you offer. Also, is what you offer the same as what you're showing? Because you can really filter people out that way, right? If you're showing something and people are going to perceive what you offer as to be something different, right? Oh, I'm going to be doing something casual. Well, but I really on the inside want something serious. Then, that person is you're going to attract the people who only want something casual. And it's not going to be, in alignment, in congruence. It's not going to be helpful for you. And so I think expressing yourself, and this is what I work on with my clients when it comes to building their dating profiles, is being in alignment, drawing up the right message, and then also learning to attract people in that way. But yeah, to that lady, she may never see this video, but I know there's hope, and I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. It sucks. But anyways, I guess to transition into into the end of the video, I've been I guess I should have done that that other video first, right? The hope. She's sinking, and so she's one of those rats who's sinking. She needs to be pulled out for a second and dried off, and then put back in the water so she can go until she finds the right one or the right solution in her life. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed these videos and me talking about this stuff, and just kind of free thought, nothing really prepared, just free association and talking off the top of my head. I'd love to get any feedback, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more of this stuff. This is kind of fun, just being able to share these videos and talk about the things that are on my mind. So please subscribe, like the video, comment down below if you have any suggestions, and send me other videos. To my Jaunty fam and Jaunty community, what's up? I hope you guys are practicing your social skills. I'll see you in class.